Okay. So before going to the GI1 experience, let me tell you how the process is going to be this year. So you will be called to the campus, either Mumbai or Delhi. Then it would be a three-stage process. First would be a VAT round, written ability test. Second would be a group interview one. And if you clear GI1, then there will be a group interview two. Okay. So So first, let's discuss about VAT. So it would be a 20-minute written examination where a candidate would be judged on the basis of their communication skills, their basic understanding of business world, and some general knowledge of yours. So anyone of us would like to share their experience? Divya, Aman, Divya Sahil.
Yeah, so I remember my VAT topic was something around is how do you deal with constructive criticism, something on that lines. So one of the things that I prepared for during my time last year and was something to have a complete stakeholder analysis. Like when you are writing your VAT, you should write your things from a perspective of all the stakeholders that are involved. Like let's say I'm having a interaction with my manager where he's giving me feedback. It can be constructive, destructive, whatever it can be, but first I have to understand why my manager is giving me that feedback from his perspective, by being in his shoes. Then I have to think from my side. Let's say whatever he has told, whether it is right, whether I relate to it or not, how am I taking the feedback, and then as a society in general, how we can develop into human beings that can deal with feedbacks in a much more okay manner by not bringing our ego to the top. So this is something that I learned, and I think that you can also apply this whenever any topic that you may face during the during the VATs. And topics, I guess from what I have heard is that not all the topics are current affairs related. It can be anything under the umbrella, like literally it's an open field. So just be ready. It will be not something which any one of you cannot attempt. It will be a very generic topic, which will be you just have to think through it, make a structured answer and write it. There won't be any issue ki you don't know what the topic is about.
Yeah. So like my friend said, just don't start writing at the very instant you were given a topic. Just think about it for 2 or 3 minutes. There would be a 20-minute window where you would have to write the complete VAT, and you would be given a rough space where you can structure your thoughts. So please make use of it. And other than that, in my VAT, I was asked to write about an advertising campaign. So that was targeted at our generation, and what message did that advertising campaign give to the youth. So in that case, I wrote about Thumbs Up campaign with the tagline Tease the Thunder, wherein I explained what the ad signifies and what call to action does it have on people watching the ad. So I would recommend everyone to have a company in their mind before going there for the VAT. Now, our batch had two J1 interviews, one for the spec and one for BM. And I think this year we would only be having one interview where they will be judging on both the aspects of yours, for the spec as well as for the BM spec. So I will not go into specific about GI1, but GI1 mainly revolves around two prospects. First, the spec you are appearing for, and the second thing is the form you have filled at the time when you were applying for SPJM. These are the two main thing in GI1. Also, the most important thing for any interview you appear this year would be your introduction. And I would just suggest you to make a strong introduction of yours and be in the driver's seat rather than panel driving the interview.
I
I think
completely agree with Rajat. So the question that tell me something about yourself is, I guess, the most important question that gets asked, and it in a way I can say that your selection or you're not getting selected depends on how you answer this question, how structured is the answer, how many hook points do you give, and whether you are able to justify those hook points or not. So the best way that I have learned is that again the basics, that your name is this, you come from here, your college, then go into, so structure it like this from where you are. Again, your undergrad, where you did it, what all did you do in your undergrad. Just two or three small pointers, but important pointers. Don't say each and everything that you did. Pick out two or three major things. Say that again, if you have workex, what kind of workex you have, where you were employed, which company. Again, two or three major projects that you have done. Don't go into the details of the projects. Just mention the projects and some benefits, monetary or otherwise, if you have achieved. Mention that good hook point. Then coming to at the last, tell them about your hobbies. Like, what are you interested in? Apart from the work that you do in your daily life, what exactly defines you?
So I think that in an introduction, they don't remember much of the things, but they remember the last point at which you end. So it's very important that you highlight your high point at the last and where do you want to drive this interview. For in my case, I applied for finance spec. So I didn't have any finance background, but I was pretty much interested in stock markets. So thereby I ended my introduction with the stock market detail attached to it, and thereby my interview went that way. So there's one question from Anmol Saxena.
Hmm.
He's asking that when the question comes up, why
Hmm.
this specialization? So
Hmm.
if I am short, he says that if he shortlisted for both the programs, PGDM and BM,
Hmm.
and BM is his first priority.
Hmm.
So, so how should this be answered if he doesn't want to get disqualified from one program?
Let's say if they ask, ki you have preferred BM and now you are sitting for ops also, what will you do if you get BM and ops? Then be very sure that your first preference is the preference that you say there as well. Because if you change your answer, ki I'm sitting in an ops interview, so how can I say my first preference is BM? Then that is a very there is a red light answer. So please don't do that. Next thing is that again, BM offers few different things that you may want to do going ahead in your career, and there's no harm admitting to that. But at the same time, you understand the opportunities that ops as a branch will give you, and in a way, in some way, it aligns with the work that you have done or your interest or something, and that you can say to justify your answer. But whatever your first preference is, you should be very clear why it's your first preference. And under no circumstance should you change your answer or your stance mid interview.
So my question was primarily that I am a BTech fresher from electronics background, and I have cleared CFA level one, and they have shortlisted me for the PGDM finance. So I was wanting to know firstly that whether I should be preparing, more about my undergrad or the finance part, because I hope to pitch it in through the CFA. And so the second was that, like again the specialization, like why finance part. So these two.
Right?
Correct.
You can be asked about anything because you're a CFA level one. They would be expecting even more from you because you are one of these guys who fit into the finance spec. I mean, perfectly. So just prepare. Okay, how many days do you have left for your interview? GI1?
So I have on 12th Feb, so roughly around 2 weeks.
2 weeks are enough. Yeah, you can do it, right? And just go through the current affairs as well. Will be having the interim budget, I believe, on 1st of
Yes, sir.
February.
Yes,
So
sir.
questions upon that can also come upon, and it's not just to you; it's for everyone who is over here. Um, Questions on budget are very, very much common. I gave my interview on 1st of February when the last year's budget came on that very day, and questions are budget and everything. And you being a finance guy, it's very much a possibility. So just be prepared with all the technical questions, and I think you will sail through. Just give the answers that they want.